We'd been forced to leave our assault rifles in the transport until the lieutenant had ordered us into action. Once I had my law slung around my neck and right shoulder, I pulled on my tactical combat vest that was filled with battery reloads and concussion grenades. Then, I tucked my shotgun into a harness on the back of the vest and dropped my old-fashioned, slug-throwing revolver into the holster on my thigh. Then I moved out of the transport and let the Marine behind me gather her gear. "Charlie Squad," I said in a loud, commanding voice. "Form up on me." Following the Marine Corps standard rule of 3, Charlie Squad consisted of 3 fire teams. We were all terrestrial assault combat team members with special tactics training for engagements on the ground. The fleet ruled space, but the Marines did the fighting on the worlds we were charged with protecting. TAC teams were the tip of the spear, leading assaults and carrying out reconnaissance missions. Occasionally, we were sent on suicide missions. I personally didn't believe in hopeless situations. There was always something that could be done, some way to turn the odds in one's favor. But I had a bad feeling about the operation on the open sea. The Orrkasi had never been so bold as to try an invasion of a populated world before, and intel reports estimated the number of orcs in the city at around 4,000. What could one squad of 12 Marines do against 4,000 enemy combatants? I didn't know, but that was the mission, and my job wasn't to question orders. "We're going in hot," I said. "Make sure you've got a full sling of grenades and battery packs."
"Do we need rations, Sergeant?"
Private First Class Sidney asked. "Negative," I replied. "We go in, raise a ruckus, and get out while the getting is good. That should draw the orcs in and give our birds time to set down without running into danger."
"Wish we could say the same,"
Corporal Yvetti declared. "You didn't join the Corps to watch from the sidelines, Corporal," I said. "This is what we do. Let's give the orcs a bloody nose, then we can get the hell out of Dodge."
"Dodge, sir?"
a young Marine asked. It was Private Case, fresh out of TAC Team Q school. She hadn't even fought an engagement yet. It would be her first experience with the horrors of war, and I didn't envy the shock I knew she had coming. "Dodge City," I replied. "It's just a saying, Private. It means we'll get out of the danger zone." She nodded, but I noticed that her knuckles were white from squeezing the pistol grips on her rifle so tightly. We started walking toward the entrance of the waste removal tunnels under the city, but Lieutenant Getty tapped my shoulder before I had taken more than a few steps.
"Sergeant," he said in a quiet but firm tone, "you are not to withdraw until I give the go-ahead."
"What if we're overrun, sir?" I asked.
"Then you fight to the last man or woman,"
Getty said, as casually as if we were ordering takeout. "Sir, you're asking me to sacrifice my entire squad," I said, having trouble keeping my voice down.
"No, I'm ordering you to keep the orcs busy until the battalion has landed,"
he replied in a smug tone that made me want to cut his throat with my combat knife.
"We cannot pull out early. If the Orrkasi launch an attack on our dropships, hundreds of Marines could be slaughtered before they ever set foot on the ground."
"We'll do it, sir," I said. "But wouldn't it be smarter to perform hit-and-run strikes on the far side of their territory? All 3 squads could engage in leapfrogging maneuvers. We would have a much better chance of keeping the orcs busy that way."
"Negative, Sergeant," Lieutenant Getty snarled.
He was angry with me, but I didn't care. I knew that we were being dropped in a meat grinder, and odds were high that most of my Marines wouldn't survive. How the lieutenant could be so nonchalant about sending people he knew to their deaths was beyond me. In war, people died. But that didn't mean I would ever be okay with sending people to their deaths, especially when there were more effective